Welcome to day 17 of our January challenge 2018, and another mini piece we're going to start today for you. This one is just 4 days worth, and it's another one from my range of pieces designed to help prepare for the ABRSM exam repertoire. So this piece, I've called it Row, Row, Rondo Boat. Not because this is written in Rondo style, but because it's a nice preparation piece for the Grand Genie Rondo, which is on the grade 3 syllabus. So I'll play you our day 1 to start with. We're in C major. 1 and 2 and So it's the row, row, row your boat theme that you'll be very familiar with. We are going to hear that quite a few times over the next 4 days, so luckily it's not too long. And let's have a look at that then in a bit more depth. So we start with our right hand on middle C, our left hand on the C below with finger 2 and the thumb on the E. And our first sort of 3 notes there are just those repeated. What I'd like to do though on that third one in the top hand is swap it to a finger 3 and put 3 in a row, C, D and E on. So we actually go finger 2, and then put the 3 in a row on, and that's the row your boat. Okay, this next little section we've got 5 notes heading down and then back up, 1 down and 4 on the way up. However, it's not very comfortable to kind of go 3, 4, 3, 2, 1. Looked all right there as I was doing it nice and slowly on its own, but in the midst of a piece that just can feel 3 to the 4 and back to the 3 can feel quite awkward. So there's a couple of different options. You could do 1, 2, 1 crossing under 2, 1 to get up to the G. So this is the E to the D is heading downwards, and then we're heading all the way up to the G. So that's 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, and that puts your thumb on the strong beats. Alternatively, you could do a 2 and a 3 with nothing on heading up yet because we're heading down at the minute, and the placing rules we try and follow only place in one direction at a time. So we're heading down, 2, then you put the 2 and the 1 on, and then you cross under for the finger 2 on its own. So there's a couple of different choices there. The left hand is doing exactly the same pattern, it's just starting on a G rather than down on the E. So if we put that hands together, I'll go back to my first fingering of the 1 and 2. I've got my right hand thumb on the E and finger 2 on the D, left hand thumb on the G, finger 2 on the F, and then I just do the same pattern in both hands. So this time I'm going 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Okay? Or if I do that other fingering where I have 2 and 3 on in both hands, just make each do the exact same thing, and then at least it's easy enough. 2, and then I put everything on there. 2, 3, 2, 1, 2. Okay, so there's a couple of different options there. Depends if you which sort of going under you feel the most comfortable with, and what you'd like to end on. If you can play your thumbs really beautifully, then it's perfectly lovely to end with your thumb on that long note. If you're finding that actually it's sounding a bit weak on that word stream there, isn't it, gently down the stream, then you might prefer to do the 2, 3 fingering so that you can get your finger 2 onto that nice long note there. Okay, next couple of bars we've got our merrily, merrily kind of tune. We're going to go C, C, G, G, E, E, and then the left hand plays the last note with a C. Okay, so fingering there, it's basically an arpeggio shape that we're following down, a C to a G to an E to a C. But we're going to play, well, you could either go 1, 1, 2, and because that first C is long, you've got time to get your thumb back on. And particularly if you bend it over really well so it hits your hand, it can bounce back. 1, 2, or you could do, if you're after really beautiful sounding notes, you could do that first C all on its own with a finger 2. And then swap to the 1 and the 2. So there's a couple of different options there. Today I'm going to do the 1 and the 2 as a fixed thing, and I think for a lot of people that will feel more secure. So I'm going 1, 1, 2, and then you'll see on the music if you're following it or just looking here, the next bit I'm going to do with 2 and 3. That's the G to the E, rather than swapping to the 1 and the 2. And then I'm going to swap to finger 2 on that E again, and our left hand will answer it with the thumb. That comes from something else. So just doing that top hand, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 2, left hand. Okay, that little fingering there of doing the 2, 3 in the middle, that's a nice little hint at something that happens in the Grand JaNEWary Rondo piece. So it's a nice preparation for getting your hand used to doing the 2 and the 3 very cleanly without your thumb being on. In the left hand there, we have got a C, which we're going to do with the finger 4. We're going to get finger 2 ready on the G and our left hand thumb there on the C. Now, if you're looking at the music, you'll say, okay, but you're missing a note there. What we've got there is the very comfortable shape. I sometimes call it one of those, or an octave and a fifth. The 2 outer notes there making the octave, the middle G being 5 up. We play the 4, we play the 2, and then we're going to hop the 2 onto the B, and then our thumb plays. Okay, so there is a slight chance that you'll be tempted to play the thumb first, because that was what was placed first. So this is one of those places where we know the rule and we intentionally break it. So C to G and then hop onto the B. Okay, and that fingering's been chosen again very specifically because that exact pattern appears in the Grand JaNEWary Rondo. So it's a really good practice for getting used to that kind of shape, so that if you have then tackle the rondo piece, oh, I know how to do this. So C, G, B, C. And we want that last C to be really beautiful, really bend the thumb over, because it's actually the last word of merrily, 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 merrily. So if I put that together in the top hand, and you can take your time with this, 1 and 2 and so it's really important that we finish it off nicely with that note there. And then to finish it off, Life is But a Dream. We've got 5 notes in a row to do in that top hand. Various different choices. You could do the G all on its own. Life is but a dream. Probably wouldn't go with that one personally. You might go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So long as you can bring out the emphasis on life is but a dream. Or you might do 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, which is probably my preferred choice for it. Okay, the left hand here's got a G on its own, and then a G going down to a C, and we've marked this up to do 2 to 4. Again, it appears in the Grand JaNEWary Rondo. It's also a very nice thing to get used to doing anyway, particularly if you're playing pieces where you jump from up here and you've got to do a little movement of a fifth down there. So say you were playing, it's quite nice to do that 2 and 4 rather than move your whole hand so much that you have to do the 1 and the 3. But we're here slightly more closer to the middle, so we've got a G on its own, 2 and then 2 and 4. Okay, so if we put that with the top hand, I'm going to do 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 in the top hand, 1 and 2 and make sure we've got that 4th finger on at the end there in the left hand. So 2, and then the 2 and the 4 gets placed. Okay, so we'll just put all of that together, and we'll go from the beginning there. 1 and 2 and